All right then.
Paul murmured, his voice no louder than a quiet hum. She could barely hear his footsteps on the rug as he closed the heavy wooden door behind him, exiting into another world completely. She looked up from behind her heavy curtain of auburn curls, finding herself alone in a dorm room, the rays of the sun reflecting in the mirror. He was gone. He was gone, and yet the room looked the same. Her books were stacked neatly on the cherry desk, picture frames in the correct places with a light film of dust. She unfolded her limbs from the bed and trailed a finger over the fine path of snow, lost in the smiles of the couple in the photo. Kevin was her best friend and had been her boyfriend. They were happy. Until she met Paul. He was older, he listened, he had a way of looking into her. She lost herself in him. But she still had to choose. And she chose comfort, familiarity, and the quiet thrum of love. She let Paul walk away. She abandoned the fearful intensity, the uncertainty, and the passion. She had done the right thing. But that's when she saw it. The toothpaste. An ordinary white tube with black-green letters sitting on her dresser, out of place amongst the jewelry and the flowers. It was her toothpaste from Paul's. Wetness pierced her eyes, and goosebumps sprang onto her flesh. He was gone. He was really gone. The wooden door wasn't going to open. He wasn't going to magically come back and beg her to change her mind. And that's when she knew. She picked wrong. The door slammed behind her, keys jingling from her hand as she realized her feet were carrying her to the parking lot, unconscious of even deciding to go. She drove. The radio sang a sappy love song, but she snapped it to silent, too busy thinking to listen to the words. The sun beat down as she spun the wheel in her hand, the wind blowing through the open windows. It's funny how the weather doesn't care about feelings, she thought. Her racing heart would have been better suited to the rhythm of a thunderstorm, lightning striking like the fear wound tight in the pit of her stomach. Instead, silky dogwoods bloomed into satin petals, slowly falling to the ground, celebrating their rebirth. White and pink blossoms appeared on scattered trees, the grass beneath slowly turning from dead brown to green. She drove faster. How could her heart be breaking on a day so full of beauty? She didn't know how long she drove. She knew the route by heart, by feel, guided by memories. Her body shook, palms sweating on the wheel, sweat trickling down the back of her neck. It was like she'd been driving for days, her ribcage contracting around the icy fingers around her heart. The Subaru decelerated, and she finally threw it in park. She sat in the car, staring through the windshield at the man leaning in the doorway in front of her. His face was passive, eyes unsure, body stiff in black pants and a t-shirt. Just seeing him made her world slip back into color. The only audible sound was the wind rustling the baby leaves on the trees. Her footsteps were light and slow on the pavement, apprehensive and fearful. She stood in front of him, head level with his barrel chest, hazel eyes locked to his. Then she slipped the toothpaste into his hand. His kiss put the life back into her. It welcomed her and forgave her all in one motion. They locked in their embrace with the wind blowing, sun shining, and petals falling, offering her a chance to bloom again.